Hey there, welcome to this is the first part of the review of the cold steel Bushman Bowie. This is just tabletop, it should just be the first quarter of the video or so, very basic stuff. So this is the cold steel Bowie Bushman. It's a 7-inch blade, total length is just over 12 inches, weighs 10 ounces, and it's got a blade thickness, very thin, of 2.5 millimeters. So what do you get for your 35 Australian dollars, which is what the current deal on Aussie Knives is? You get a single piece of SK5 carbon steel, which has very similar qualities to the spring steels that you get large knives made of. You get it's hollow handled, but because it's a one piece, it doesn't have that weakness that lots of other hollow handled knives do have. Well, at least it shouldn't. I'm yet to test it. Obviously, this is the tabletop. Comes generously coated in oil, and the fit and finish is rather good. However, on this particular example, there is a roll on the edge just there, as you can see, but the edge does come very sharp. This version of the Bushman comes with the older sheath. That's probably why it was only $35, down from about $50. Which is a pretty cheesy nylon stitched together sheath, leather triangle there, which has no real benefit, apart from perhaps if you were to put the knife in and torque it to the side, slides in, and torque it to the side, it might stop the point from coming out, but I don't see how that would happen. It does have a pocket on it, which is good. I haven't got anything in there yet. It's a Velcro closure pocket. You squeeze it to pull it out, and it's got this, there's a bit of resistance where the blade cuts up against that there. I'm sure it's fine, and I'm sure it's been reinforced suitably, but it's a bit strange and definitely feels a little bit, definitely not as finessed as some of your Kydex numbers. Let's show you next to some sort of more popular knives or well-known knives. This is a Mora Companion next to it. It's a Volkniven F1 next to it, under it. And this is a similar sized knife. This is the K-Bar USMC, which is another sort of 7-inch blade knife. Bushman, I think it might be perspective that's making it look slightly longer, because it seems very much the same length. There we go. So the purpose of this knife, Cold Steel markets it as a survival knife. They tell a story on the box about a bushman in Africa who goes for long walks and has to have a light but strong knife. And this chap apparently walks for 30 miles a day and has all sorts of adventures, and apparently this knife is what they thought would be suited for him. And yeah, I can see it is obviously a strong design. It's a thin blade. It's even a little bit thinner than that. Oh, it's about the same as that Mora blade. It's about as thin as the, this is the standard companion, it's about as thin as the Light My Fire Mora, so on the thinner side. It's powder coated with this epoxy sort of stuff, and that spine isn't sharp, so although you could probably force some sparks off a ferro rod, I'll probably file that down. So that's the tabletop phase of this review. When I take it out, I'll do some chopping. I'll just do the standard stuff. I'll see how well it chops, slices and splits, and I'll have a fiddle with this spear business as well and see if there's any merit in doing that. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
Definitely not a batoning knife or a high stress knife. Pretty big serrations on the cold Steel Bushman. It is a good carving edge, very good. Shame it doesn't go all the way from start to finish anymore. It'll shave tinder decently for you. But I think that's about the end of the review. Well then, the cold Steel Bushman is back from its adventure. As you can see, my concerns about sheath are a little bit semi-founded if the knife blade fails catastrophically. That edge will, the edge that you create when you fail with this knife will damage the sheath lip. But anyway, so was that abuse of this knife? Cold Steel, I know for a fact that Cold Steel sees batoning any knife practically as abuse. However, I do refer back to this box where I'll just put this there. It basically says about how there's these bushmen in Africa that go on these big journeys. I explained it in the tabletop. It does kind of frame this as somewhat of a survival knife. You pause and read that if you want. So yeah, I don't know. Don't know what to think. It's up to you guys. Just the basic fact you can take from this video is that when I batoned with this on pretty straight grained wood, I think there was a bit of a bend in it. It failed like this. It did stand the cross batoning. It wasn't particularly good at it, but that didn't fail it. And the blade was warmed up from chopping and everything else too. So it's not because it was cold. It's just because the steel is obviously not designed. It's just chunked out like that. It's just obviously not designed for impacts into sort of anything but the straightest of wood, I suppose. As a chopper, it felt fine. It felt better chopping than the K-bar, which I pulled out and did a few chops with as well. Feels better than the K-bar at chopping, probably because this is a bit wider here. You get a little bit more weight in the head. The handle felt fine. You'd probably want to have a lanyard through your screw hole if you're going to chop too much more with it. And it didn't actually bother me too much with the. I don't have hand fail like right now or anything like that because of the impacts either. So not too bad. So I guess it's a springy steel, but it just had either an imperfection there, but then I've seen other videos where this has happened too, so it's obviously just not the best for splitting and batoning wood. So slicing, when I finished off I did some wood shaving and it did that just fine. It's got a good factory edge and it's quite intuitive as the flat and saber grinds generally are to shave wood and carving things. So chopping, I'd give it about a B. Splitting has to be an F, like it's a fail. Because the knife failed. It did the first couple of splits really well, you saw, but then that third one when there was a little bit of resistance, absolute failure. And the thing is, the telling thing is Moras, which are this thin, will not fail under those circumstances. So I don't know, I don't want to judge too harshly. But there you go. Cold Steel never said this will split, but then they do give you this spiel about it, you know, being your one-man light knife for the African warrior as well. So I don't know. And yeah, carving, probably an A. It's a really good carving knife. It felt quite good, even just using this part with the breakage included. Felt good to carve with it. It was fun. I did not put it on a spear because I just had a sense that if it will fail from splitting a bit of wood, surely the whole tip going, you know, into God knows what part of the tree isn't going to do it any favours either. So I sort of lost my mojo with it a bit after the fail, I must admit. I just pushed through for a bit more carving. But overall, you know what? I'm still not going to be condemning of the knife. If Cold Steel went and did betoning videos on their proof series, then maybe I'd have a point. But I think still any knife's better than no knife, I suppose. And if this was your one knife, I would say, paired with this Leatherman rebar, which does fit quite well into that pocket there, you've got quite a capable little survival kit. You're probably better off carving yourself a wooden wedge to do your splitting and hitting that with your baton. So that's my thoughts on the Cold Steel Bowie Bushman. Thanks very much for watching.